Have you ever found yourself in a situation where being kind just wasn't enough? When your generosity and goodwill are taken advantage of, or when your own needs are being overlooked, it can be frustrating and disheartening to realize that being too nice can sometimes backfire. But before we explore this further, let's define what we mean by being kind. Being kind is an expression of love and compassion towards others. It involves considering their feelings, making efforts to help them, and generally treating them with warmth and friendliness. However, when kindness becomes excessive or imbalanced, it can have negative consequences for both the giver and the receiver. Excessive kindness can lead to feelings of being taken for granted, drained of energy, and even exploited. On the other hand, the receiver may come to rely on the kindness without developing the necessary skills to stand on their own. So how can we maintain a healthy balance between being kind and looking after our own needs? Well, the first step is learning to set boundaries. This doesn't mean being rude or unkind, but it does mean learning to say no when necessary. Boundaries are important because they help us define our limits and protect our own well-being. Secondly, we need to prioritize self-care. This means making time for activities that recharge our batteries, like exercise, meditation, or simply some me time. Self-care is essential for maintaining our emotional and mental well-being and prevents us from becoming overwhelmed or exhausted. Another key aspect is being mindful of our interactions with others. Are we being taken advantage of? Are our kindnesses coming at the expense of our own happiness? Mindfulness helps us recognize these patterns and make necessary adjustments. In conclusion, being kind is a wonderful quality that we should all strive to cultivate. However, it's essential to remember that kindness should not come at the expense of our own well-being. By establishing boundaries, prioritizing self-care, remaining mindful of our interactions, and seeking positive influences, we can navigate the world with kindness without feeling overwhelmed or exploited. It's important to emphasize that while being kind is essential, it shouldn't come at the cost of neglecting our own needs and boundaries. After all, we cannot pour from an empty cup. One way to strike a balance is by practicing assertiveness. Assertiveness allows us to express our thoughts, feelings, and needs in a respectful yet firm manner. It's about standing up for ourselves without being aggressive or passive. Assertive communication helps us set clear expectations and boundaries, ensuring that our kindness is not taken advantage of. Additionally, it's crucial to recognize that kindness does not necessarily equate to saying yes to every request or favor. In fact, saying no can sometimes be the kinder thing to do, especially if it means protecting our own mental and emotional health. Learning to prioritize our own needs and set limits is an essential part of self-care. Furthermore, kindness should be a two-way street. It is important to surround ourselves with people who reciprocate our kindness and respect our boundaries. Toxic relationships that are one-sided or draining can take away from our ability to be kind and compassionate towards others. Another aspect to consider is the impact of kindness on our mental health. Research has shown that engaging in prosocial behaviors like kindness can lead to increased feelings of happiness and fulfillment. However, it's important to remember that this should not be at the expense of our own well-being. Engaging in kind acts that align with our values and interests can lead to a sense of purpose and positivity that benefits both the giver and the receiver. In conclusion, kindness is a powerful force that can transform lives and communities. However, it's crucial to remember that it should be balanced with self-care and assertiveness. By prioritizing our own needs, setting boundaries, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can navigate the world with kindness without losing sight of our own well-being. After all, the world needs kind people who are also strong, resilient, and capable of taking care of themselves.